2 a day.
Yeah.
Did I ask who just joined the meeting?
I think they can unmute, but
Do they have to unmute or do we?
Asked to unmute. Okay, asked to unmute. Well, if they don't want to speak, that's okay. Okay, so we have more than a quorum. And it's 6:05 roughly.
Okay.
Are you ready? You don't have to be if you're not ready.
no, I am getting ready as we speak,
Okay.
so you can go ahead.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order at 6:04.
Are you ready?
I did not hear from Scott, so I have no idea
Okay,
if he's coming.
did people have time to read the February minutes?
I did.
I didn't see any problems or corrections. I moved to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
was gonna say, do you want me to text Mike and see if he's,
Let me see, I can do it. I think I have Mike. Mike Mann.
because yeah, normally when, like if Mike joined the meeting, he should be able to talk, we should.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 617 number. So I'm guessing that's not Mike.
Well,
I mean, it's Massachusetts, so it's, I don't know where, some people keep their old phone numbers and I don't
Yeah.
know where he moved from, so.
anymore than, yeah, the exchange number is all over the place. Looks like all the zoning passed.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like, where are all the no people?
I mean, the overlay district wasn't as overwhelming a pass as the others.
Yeah.
Still.
Still, I was kind of surprised, yeah. It also, I mean, I didn't look at the total results, but the temple results for the school budget, everybody voted for it too. I'm also surprised at that. So,
What happened with Francistown? I didn't know what 3/5 of the vote was, so I couldn't.
oh, yeah,
I don't know about Francistown, but it would have had to been 40% yes for the other towns to kill it, and it was 46% yes.
yeah,
So
it's not,
if Francistown wants out, they can leave. Because we didn't,
Weren't they at like 58%, I think, Francistown on that vote? For yes?
they themselves, you mean?
Yeah, it was 70s. Oh, was it 70s? Okay, I'm not sure what numbers I was looking
Did
at.
Francis-
I
yeah, but
thought
I
it
don't
was,
think that was on our ballot, was it? Because
Yeah.
Francistown had to vote to leave.
yes.
But
but
our
it was-
question was, do you want to stop them from leaving?
Yeah, right.
And that would have had to have been or it says, do you want to allow them to leave?
Okay, that's what I thought, yes.
Do you
okay.
want to allow them to leave? And that would have had to have been 60%,
Or
60% no.
3,
And it was, yes, and it was only like 54% no.
okay,
So we didn't stop
so the
them from
question
leaving.
is what it, and I thought
So-
Francistown's number was like,
70 something like that.
okay.
That's what I'm.
So I think
That
Francistown is leaving.
We didn't report that, did we?
We all had the same question, and the way I understood it is if Francistown residents answered that question as 3/4 yes, then they could go, if the rest of us didn't stop them. So what I'm hearing from you is the
Oh.
rest of us did not stop them,
The rest-
and they said yes. Enough of them said yes, so it sounds like.
Okay, I did not know. So
They
that
can
line
go.
was buried in there.
Right, I mean, the column for that question had each of the towns going.
Right, and I didn't realize that the Francistown question was in there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So there was two things in that column. One was the total, if I'm understanding you correct. One was the
right,
total,
for all the entire,
yeah, the total to stop them, which failed. But
okay,
also in that column, they're saying that if Francistown said we want out,
yes,
they're gone. So, yeah, if that's
Okay.
true, because there was definitely not enough vote to stop them.
cool.
We'll see if, we'll do that. Now, they got what they asked for.
And Clay.
I'm sure they're gonna come out ahead. I think we would be doing better if we weren't in Conval. I don't see us getting out.
We need to add to the new business. I assume you want to resign since you are officially on the planning board. I've done, select board, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford the time. I mean, it's not like this is particularly time consuming for us. But it's, what I'm seeing is I'm not gonna have a lot of time,
Right,
Yeah,
because I'm already getting, you gotta go this class, and you gotta start attending these meetings.
yeah.
So nobody told me that before I go.
Oh. You knew John Kiley, right? Did you know John?
Oh,
Yeah. Before they moved, they were trying to talk me into running for select board and they were like, sure, no, you have to take this class, that class, and this class. And I was like, I'm done. No, no. Like I said, I'm still working. I still have several years in front of me. I'm not doing that. So,
Well, that's the thing, I'm trying to ease towards retirement,
yeah.
and this is like the nudge I need.
Anyway, okay, so on to the agenda.
so I don't remember, do you just like say that you wish to resign and we
I
vote on
probably
it?
have to send a letter to the select board, I think that's Cathy.
I don't think to leave, you have to. Cause it's not like they're gonna say no.
No, I can always.
Well, you can-
Just,
Yeah.
I mean, you've had people just not show up before.
And we actually, when they don't show up, we prefer they tell us that they're resigning so that we are allowed to,
Oh, 'cause
And
it
replace
reduces your
them.
quorum.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they're really not ever going to show up, then it's better that we know that so that we can appoint somebody else if there's somebody appropriate. So,
You know, you have my emotional support, if you will. If you guys need stuff, you say, hey, you need to help. If I can, I will.
Mike seems to think I need to let him in.
Oh.
It's this, he said the 617.
Oh, it is the 6th
Well,
one.
it is him. So he is a participant. Click that and see what happens.
Mike.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Good.
All right, I'm in. Thank you.
I I had let you in, but I had to push a button that said, ask you to unmute. I don't know, it's kind of a strange thing, but once I did that, then you apparently, you were able to.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it must have just naturally muted me.
yes, okay.
Okay, so what do you guys, to close on that discussion, what do you guys want me to do?
Why don't you just,
If you,
you just officially
if
tell
you,
us, I think that you're resigning and
yes,
we will share with Carol, who will let the select board know that you have resigned from.
if you think you may show up occasionally that, and you'd like to be a voting member, then don't resign. But if you really are saying, I'm not going to do it, then resign.
Let's do this. I'll stay. Show
And
up
see
when I
how it
can,
goes.
show up when I can, and if you guys have somebody replace me and want me gone,
Okay.
say so.
That makes sense. That makes more sense. That gives you the flexibility.
I'll show up when I can.
There have been people who were in the Concom and select board and they manage it. So it's not impossible. But you know, it's your personal life and everything. So,
Well,
yeah, but what you just suggested, you know, if you don't show up, we understand. And if we find somebody who's a good candidate, we'll ask you to resign so we can fill.
yeah, just send me an email.
That's
you
perfect.
know, we like this guy better than you, quit.
Yeah. Please quit. Yes. Okay.
The other piece of this is we always lose Scott in the winter time. And we have to just be aware of quorum. If
Yes.
someone else of us becomes, you know, routinely unavailable for work or personal reasons or whatever, then we may need to lose you just so that our quorum number is smaller,
Yeah.
so that we can actually.
Right,
make
and
it
that,
work. So,
I'll leave that to you
okay,
guys, I'm not gonna be offended.
Okay.
Trust me, it takes a long.
You're
I've been insulted by the
you're a
press.
very practical, rational person, and that we appreciate that. Okay, so new business. Are we ready to move on?
yeah.
New business, SB 538.
Yeah, did you all see that letter?
I saw the letter to Kevin Avard, right? Or that's his name.
Okay,
That's the guy who I guess is the head of that committee. It's the other attachment. Kevin Avard, Chair of Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee,
okay, all right.
concerning SB 538, right?
Yes, and they were just asking for towns just to show their support by signing on to that letter because they want municipalities to do net metering,
Yeah.
which makes municipal solar possible. And so, the planning board already signed on.
So what would happen? So this is in support of 538. Is there a problem now?
Yes.
Did it
I
take it
don't
away,
think it
or did they never have it?
I think it's expiring.
Okay.
You know, I need to reread all these
When
things.
we got our solar installed,
Yeah.
it's net metering.
Yes.
So does this?
This is municipal. I suspect things are changing,
Yes,
and specifically for municipal owned.
it is an extension.
It's an extension.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this isn't for people, this is for.
No, this is
Big.
municipality.
Yeah, so a municipality, if they behave just effectively, just like homeowners, but they could have a big panel. They do it to save town electricity, and net metering is how you survive, you know, I mean, you know, you make more in the summer and you burn it up in the winter, whatever. I guess it's expiring for municipalities,
Right.
and this is in support of keeping it.
What this is basically saying is it allows a municipality, school district, county, or other political subdivision to build a renewable energy project on one site and use some of that generated power to offset electricity bills at other public facilities. So example, if we put, a solar array down by at that land at the school where we just voted to do the overlay district, then it could power this building, it could power the town office,
Yeah.
it could power
You
the
just- you dump-
library.
Yeah, you dump it to the grid, it's a
Yes.
fungible resource.
Right.
so it
Right.
doesn't-
So it's extending that the ability work is there now, but it has to be, it's expiring and it's just
So
asking to extend.
I would imagine, if we support, I guess we have to vote if we support it, but how would it manifest?
So this letter, I'm assuming who's it addressed to? Dear Chairman of Art and members
Yeah.
of the committee. Oh, so it's.
Kevin Avard
Senator.
Kevin Avard's the person who's probably on the energy
The
committee.
Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee and the New Hampshire State House. So basically, this is just, we will sign this letter at the bottom
Yeah.
as the Temple Conservation Commission, that we are in support of this. So it's just
And
letting the committee know that towns want this.
so what did they, is it just emailing the letter?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep, and at this point, probably emailing it, because Bruce signed it for the planning board and sent it to Carol. And so I think we should just do the same, and then she can,
Okay.
I don't know if she's accumulating them, because they also wanted the energy committee to sign as well,
okay.
so.
So we should probably vote? Or do we need to discuss it more? Anybody need more discussion on it? No? Okay, so, all in favor of the
Wait a minute,
compound?
someone needs to motion.
Oh,
Make a
right.
motion that we sign that letter.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of signing the letter supporting SB 538 for the Concom? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Mike, do you want to sign it as the treasurer, or? I mean,
If you want me to, I will.
is it a real signature or you just put their name?
Well, we could do it either way.
that's how fancy we want to get.
Well, this is why I
But it's a
asked, what,
PDF, so we can, if we're gonna email it, it can just be an electronic signature.
yeah, okay,
And you can sign it on behalf of the Concom
yeah, okay.
and just send it to Carol. Mike, does that sound good?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
And it'll be in our minutes and Mike's gonna do it, okay. Okay, the next item on new business is, before we go on, Eric,
Yeah.
did you have something you wanted to talk about? We normally let guests talk about something.
Oh, no, I don't have anything in particular that's gonna be different from what you guys are already gonna discuss.
Okay,
I'm mainly just here to talk about the Skladaney property and whatever on the Berry property.
what was the first property? The back,
The Skladaney property.
Skladaney, okay.
That we're calling that these days.
It's still
Well,
Skladaney for now. I don't think it's been changed. Okay. Is the Skladaney, well, that's trail work on the Skladaney. It's down, that's under tabled business.
Well,
I'll give you a
that's-
quick update on
Well, the berry, we can add it under,
I think we should, we'll just talk about it with the Barry. Yes?
sure,
Okay,
sounds good.
so NHDES climate planning presentation.
So I don't have a lot of backstory. It was just when when DES for their climate plan was asking for the town forest, information about the town forest, I forwarded them your plan.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He just responded, with a thank you and said, hey, I can come and talk about DES's climate plan.
Oh,
And so I told him I would bring it up at the next meeting, probably, I mean, I think he's up in Concord, it probably makes sense to
So-
zoom in, but
Is he mean he would talk to the public or to just us?
no, just to inform us, and it seemed like it could be interesting to know what the state is planning. Do you happen to know anything about? Okay, I didn't even know that the state was doing this, so
It's kind of encouraging to hear that.
It is, exactly.
Surprising. So if he's going to do, if he's offering to do that, I would say ask him if he could attend the next Concom, right?
Yep, okay.
Because if it's just, I wasn't sure if he meant like I can do a presentation to the town, we could have one of our special education nights. But if it's really he's intending just to talk to Concom, then the best way to do it is either he set up a meeting that he can do and we would join him, or he can come into our meeting.
Yeah, let me go back and see if I can verify.
If he's gonna do an actual presentation, though, that will take quite a lot of time. Do we want to really
Yeah,
devote that much of our next meeting? to
well,
just that?
right, it depends on what if he's just gonna chat about some topics, that's fine. If he's
So-
gonna do a real presentation that's gonna take an hour, that might be something that we could just join. It won't be a real Concom meeting, we won't make decisions, we would just attend the meeting that he would schedule.
I mean,
Or if he's giving a presentation to someone else, can we zoom into that?
We could zoom into that, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure the nature if he's like going to ask us, talk about the Temple Forest in particular, or if this is something that's
no, I think so. Let's see.
What did he say? Was that?
All he said was attend our meeting. So this was not a, like, give a presentation to the,
public.
so NHDES's first deliverable required by the EPA's, what's CPRG, climate? I don't know what CPRG is, was a priority climate action plan
Okay,
and included a focused list of near-term, high-priority, implementation-ready measures to reduce greenhouse gas pollution and an analysis of greenhouse gas emissions reductions that would be achieved if the measures are implemented. So what I'm wondering is if they're trying to claim that our town forest, given how many acres it is sucking carbon out of the air and therefore reducing greenhouse gases.
interesting, yeah.
That's kind of my,
Well,
Well, I was kind of assuming that he was going to talk about what the climate planning possibilities were at the town level. Because it's all fine to do climate planning at the state level, but if it doesn't
right,
get down to the town level, then.
I was thinking it was at the state level, but we should be aware of things that we could assist or something.
Well,
It-
exactly, that's what I mean. that's
Yeah,
what I-
yeah.
so maybe ask him if,
I think we should just ask him to do it. We'll find out.
I mean, I guess my thinking is,
Well, yeah, ask him how much
Okay.
time, and if we normally have an hour and a half meeting, and if it's 30 minutes, that would be fine. If it's an hour and a half, then we might want to schedule a special meeting just for that.
okay. I mean, my guess is he's probably gonna be sharing the similar things that other towns are doing.
Yeah,
So maybe we'll get, I mean, even if it is statewide, we may get some ideas from other
Exactly.
towns.
Yeah.
If there are,
okay.
if it's at that level, so.
I would like to. I definitely would like to hear it. So just ask him
Okay,
what if it would be appropriate just to, by the length of it in our meeting, or if it should be a meeting dedicated just for him.
so can we say if he answers back just a half an hour or so, can I just say, do you want to plan to come to the April, whatever the April date is?
Yeah.
Meeting? Okay,
I would think so. Does everybody think that's fair?
Yeah, and then if you can't do
And I
that.
would all further ask, want to be there in person or you want to Zoom it?
Right.
yeah,
We-
It may be a lot, it's gonna take him longer to drive it down here and go home than the meeting's gonna be.
correct. That's why I
The
was
Zoom,
thinking.
I think the Zoom makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
And
you know?
I don't know when Scott's coming back, but it's very easy. I just asked Carol to create a Zoom meeting, so.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been working lately, so this is.
It's been working, yeah. I got powered up pretty easily today. Okay,
And I guess we don't really need to test it. I think the last time I joined in from the planning board, which was it even last week? Maybe it was last week because it was a snowy night. My picture. Well, gosh, my picture came up on Zoom, and I think when I talked, my picture came up on that. So I think we.
you have to have a camera. You mean like your actual video
Yeah,
picture?
yes, yeah,
Mike may not have a camera
right.
or
So
has.
that's why I'm thinking we don't need to have mic test because I know with mine it worked. So we should be able to,
You
if
don't,
need be, allow, like we could even make him a co-host and allow him to share a screen.
absolutely,
So,
yeah.
okay, all right. So we know the technology.
It should
I
work.
don't think you need to make some. Share the screen.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've done presentations over Zoom before, you don't have to.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not a co-host, I'm just.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I
Awesome.
don't think, maybe you do now, I haven't done this for a while.
It depends on the account, I think. You know, sometimes, it may be more locked down. We've, in the past, we've had people attend who did rather offensive things. And we had to learn how to at least silence them, if not block them. So there's.
Yeah, but no, but the point is to allow someone to share their screen, they don't have to be a co-host.
They shouldn't have to be a co-host, yeah.
Well, either way, I think we have all of the controls we need from this screen, so we can
Yeah,
make them, we can
If-
help them.
yes. Okay,
Cool. All right, that's it for me.
and you'll just let us know,
Yep,
you'll correspond with.
yep. And if he has any other info, then I'll be sure to pass it out.
Okay, yeah, that might be useful. Moving on to updates, Fisk Hill Healed Track Trail Connector.
That would be Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So I don't have an update for that, other than what I talked about last month. Bart is no longer working for, he's retired from the Wilton stuff. So when I talked to Jennifer Beck, she was going to bring it up with her team. And then we were going to kind of connect and see if there was an interest in doing it and hook it up with the Forest Society to connect the trails. And then I got to talk to Tim and see if he's interested in allowing us to do it. So I just haven't followed up on it.
Okay. Yeah.
I will try to reach out to Tim.
Perfect.
Great, thank you. Next topic is ABCs of temple information.
Yeah, that's me. Get around to writing up the little, revising the bit that we said we needed to get the ABC people to update. But I did have a question before I do that. Is there any specific interval at which these NRIs are produced? Because the problem here was that it had been like 20 years and then one was done in 2023. But do we have any interval that we're planning on doing?
10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yes, it's recommended 10 years. And I think this is, I don't know if it's in the Concom NRI RSA or or if it's the town, but I think the planning board agrees with us that we should do it every 10 years. It was really more a matter of budgeting it. And so if the planning board who paid for it continues to be supportive, then it'll be 10 years from, what was it, 2023, right?
2023.
Yeah. So that's the plan.
Oh.
I think it always was the plan, and we just were bad. Just got,
Yeah, you basically just skipped here. That's
skipped.
the-
Oh,
An
yeah.
update. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Nothing more, I guess, Cathy, on that. Okay. Let's move on to Barry property. Mike, do you know
Okay,
updates?
yeah, so I got an update, and I forwarded it on to you, Sean, I think, that the heirs or the new owners contracted with a forest consulting firm. I forget which one it was in that email. Some of the abutters talked to the guy, and he was scouting out the full acreage, trying to determine, how to log it all off. So, and I guess in that email that was sent to me that I forwarded along, it was, take out every tree of value. So that was kind of how it was pitched by the consultant, the Forest Service guy, to the abutter. So, I talked to Bill Azell about it, and he said, there's not really much you can do about a application put in for an intent to cut. He said it's pretty much a rubber stamp. The select board can't really reject it. They have 15 days to fundamentally accept it. He said it's pretty much a rubber stamp. There's not much you can do about it. He was well aware of it all. So, because he's one of the abutters apparently. So, and it was to log it, all trees of value ASAP. And I don't know what the hell that really means. I mean, I don't know. Eric probably knows what, when you can actually go in there and do it. But that's a little bit of a monkey wrench. I did look into all the ordinances and stuff, and Bill confirmed all that. There's not really a hell of a lot you can do to stop an intent to cut. And there was another in the letter. They said they expect they're going to have to put a temporary bridge over the Class A stream to be able to access the full acreage. So, I haven't talked to any of the Wilton people yet, or any of the butters, but about what they're thinking about this. But the only it's a tough strategy question, because you could say, okay, well, I'll raise the flag with DES now and get them involved if we wanted to, right? Because of the proposed contamination of the soils and stuff, and then they would step in and probably try to enforce that what E&V OR 600 regulation or rules for managing the property. Or you just kind of wait till it all plays out, and which I don't particularly like. I mean, I like being a little bit more proactive on these types of things, but so that's a little bit of a monkey wrench into the project. So I don't know. I mean, that's the latest on that. I mean, Cathy probably knows better than I do. There's probably nothing scheduled with Fieldstone, is there, Cathy?
No.
To present on the project?
Nope.
No.
So-
yeah. So
For I probably want to hear Eric's opinion, but this logging operation probably wouldn't touch the orchards, though, right? There's nothing valuable in there.
But wasn't
Well,
Mike's old,
the full 250 acres, the whole thing.
that picture you sent
Lots.
showing that the orchard was originally a bigger area, so it extended into the woods. That picture wasn't attached for me, at least. I don't know if it was just my email,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but
I'll resend. I think Sally Mann is the one who dug that up. It's from like 1947 or something like that.
okay,
So
I mean-
I'll resend it.
okay.
But yeah, it does. It extends all the way up there, you know, kind of goes around it looks like it goes around the bend on North Road, you know, where they're proposing putting in all those houses along the North Road there. But yeah, it looks like it was a pretty extensive operation that John Barry was running, his father. So,
Eric, do you want to comment?
So I had already heard that there was plans for this logging. I wasn't sure if you guys knew about that, so you do know about that.
We know about it officially now. Mike gave us a heads up that was, but I also didn't get any attachment. I just saw, and I wasn't actually surprised, but I still don't think a lot of the orchard, I don't know why they would touch it. Right?
I personally don't think there's
No.
any real trees of value within the old orchard areas, but for ease of access, they might want to go through there and maybe create a
exactly.
that area, which
Right.
seems very kind of a gray area with everything going on with
Mhm.
talking about different chemicals, soils and whatnot.
Right. I mean, they
Right.
if they had to drive across all of the different areas just to get to the salvageable forest, there would be a road, right? I mean, they're not, and I guess they would have
Yeah.
to haul it out. It'd have to be a big road, but it's not like they're going to cut down, tear up the entire orchard, right? I wouldn't see.
No, I wouldn't.
No. But I mean, but you'll disturb all the soils, right? Wherever logging road you want to cut through it, you're going to have to go through the orchards to do it.
Yeah.
So there's all the dirt and dust and tracking the dirt and dust out of the proposed logging area onto the main roads. You know, you could create a risk profile that says, hey, there's some risk there with if the lands are contaminated, that you're going to be spreading the contamination out into the public domain. So, which puts a liability onto the logger, according to, stuff that I've researched. So, that becomes the issue, right? It's still the disturbed soils, It'll be less, I'm guessing, in a logging operation, but I don't really know. Eric probably has a better sense of that than I do. And than it would be if they were building developments. But if it's just a step to prepare the land for a development, that's the part that gets that's super gray. So because there's apparently in the intent to cut application, there's a statement in there that you have to make that you have no intention, or that you intend to further develop the land. I forget exactly what the language says, but so there's a couple little phrases like that in there, and that those all kind of play into the, is there anything we should do, could do, want to do to kind of, support the abutters, if you will.
Did you comments, Eric?
In terms of, say they want to start their operation for the log landing, within an orchard area, I can foresee decent amount of soil disruption, say that's, probably removing the apple trees, tree stump and all, maybe taking like a bulldozer and removing the topsoil, probably adding some better fill,
Okay,
especially for the,
Like the landing?
yes.
for the landing, yeah,
Um,
okay.
But then, yeah, you pose the risk of if you're working within that area, you've got all the machinery that goes from that log landing back into the woods, over this temporary bridge, back and forth, however many times. Then all the different trucks and traffic leaving that site, going onto the road and out. What I'm still kind of unsure about and don't have a lot of knowledge is, and I guess everyone's in the same boat as the idea of the orchards and the soil. I wish we sort of knew more about that or had more experience to know, is this really that big of a deal or not?
The soil, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Contamination?
recommendations was that somebody do a soil test.
but I can see them not wanting to do that. They want to get started on the logging work to bring in the money. to
Right,
Probably then fund the rest of the development to go through.
yeah.
Because I imagine they're
Right.
not a lot of money to start with.
So has your father's company done logging operations in and or near other orchards?
Yes, at Brookdale Farms in Paulus.
Okay,
I don't know of any troubles with soil or anything back then, but that was particularly to start over, removing old apple trees, and then they planted newer trees.
new apple trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're definitely conventional, so. What about the healed tract? Because the Forest Society went in and did a lot.
And
I
that
know
was also
That was an
Old
old
Orchard.
apple orchard, because they
Yeah.
got rid of all the.
This is on East Road.
And stuff.
East Road all the way in to,
And on
yeah,
the other, on the Wilton side.
the Wilton side too, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did any soil testing. I don't know how extensive that orchard was, but it seemed like it was
It was big in,
like on both sides of the road, and it seemed like it was pretty big.
Well, maybe DES should be notified anyways and see what they say. Maybe they can give some clearance. If we should be worried.
do we have a
Yeah.
DES contact?
I don't know anybody personally. I have a few names, from, it's all these hazardous waste people though that deal
Yeah.
with these, orchard contamination issues. So,
I mean,
and
if there's a lot of old orchards, right? There are a lot of old orchards
Yeah.
all over New England, New Hampshire. And as as Cathy, you mentioned, they logged in healed track. I wouldn't suspect that the healed orchards were any different than John Barry's from a treatment perspective. I mean, I'd be curious if DES ever has any concerns whatsoever with disturbing orchard soil. I mean, it would be nice to know if this is a real concern or not. And I would have thought this topic would have come up before.
That's what I'm saying. They probably know.
well, Bill said at that one meeting that, and he hasn't been able to, I asked him the other day if he'd actually found the test reports. I'm sure he didn't look for them, but he said no. But he said that it had been tested before, probably spots, and it was lead arsenic contamination. So, but
He
I mean,
said that-
it's generally a big deal. I mean, because of the magnitudes of the pesticides that they used. So, but it's not a big deal because it's fairly stable compounds once they're bonded into the dirt.
Yeah.
So the issue becomes the leachables into the streams, and then if you start excavating, it becomes mobile and it goes everywhere. So those are the real issues. So there's a lot of historical development activities that have happened in orchards, like out in Washington State and stuff like that, where they actually remediate the contaminated orchard. But it's expensive. So, I mean, there's ways you can work around it, but you have to be willing to make the investment to do it. So, but I think it's a real concern personally, but you know.
I think we would want the DES to support us with this, so that we're not inventing anything. They're the scientists, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's really the $1 million question, right? Do you want to get them involved now and say, hey, we have this proposed orchard development activities in our town, and a historic orchard that, you know, anecdotally, people, you know, talk about back in the 60s when they were spraying like crazy, you know, or do you want to just kind of play it out and wait and see what comes before the government, the town government, and then deal with it then? So that's the kind of the tough, that's the pickle, right? That I think, right?
Town government's gonna do anything.
Well, where does it stand?
Well,
now?
I mean, but they would be on, like, planning board would be liable for approving a development activities on a contamination site. You know, if they didn't prove that it wasn't contaminated or was contaminated, right? So they would be liable for all that, and town would be liable for all that. So if there was long-term health or environmental impact to it, so that's the liability issue.
If there's a risk that the DES has gotten involved in, then and there could be a problem that they get involved with, then I wouldn't mind having them involved, because they're scientists.
Yeah, right.
But and I wouldn't imagine if we could get their feedback on the scenario, it's not like they need to see it.
Yeah. That's right.
Just tell us their opinion. They might say, we don't stop that. It's a small risk. Or they might say, oh yeah, this is what we normally do with that. So I would want to know what if they know about it. They might just say, no, we don't care. That's not a big deal. It happens all the time. Or they might say, well, if you know that there's, or highly suspect there's, you know, the arsenate in the soil, then this is what we recommend. I'd like to know what they would, their opinion. It's not an unusual scenario. It's we have these orchards all over the place. So
right. But they're not all developed, and then then when they are developed, from everything I've researched, the DES has a protocol by which, if they're asked to get involved, they have a set of protocols that they usually implement. So if there's enough evidence that says, yeah, there's a high probability that this could be contaminated soil, they would institute that ENVOR 600, you know, rules. I think they call them rules. They would institute that, and there's a whole series of sub rules in there. You know, like O2 is water, O3 is dirt, you know, O4 is something else, something like that. But on managing the risk, you know, so. But it's the question becomes, do we want to bring them involved, get them involved now, just and start the process of assessing the potential risk of developing that land? So that's the real question.
My first thought is, if you wait too long, you run the risk of all that dust getting in the air and getting, and that contaminated work going down into the water and this and that, which raises a question: is what is the risk if we do call them? And I'm not, you know,
just asking questions.
they're probably right, exactly. We're just asking questions. They're either going to say, yeah, we don't care, like Sean said, or, yeah, you might have an issue, let's come out and poke around.
I would rather have them engaged right away, as soon as possible, sure.
I think you're way better off before it's too late.
Right, I don't, if, and the thing is we don't know what we're dealing with, because we just don't do this much. So, I would think we should engage them.
I move that we contact the DES about this.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor of Beth's suggestion that we contact DES under this? Aye, okay,
I'm sorry, who's second?
go ahead.
I did.
No,
I seconded it.
I did not say.
You guys were in.
So two things, I don't know the folks in Wilton for the Concom, but it would be good to let them know, hey, in addition to the proposed houses, there's also this ginormous logging project. In
Do they
particular,
know? Because one of the abutters is on,
Yeah, they're aware of it.
okay, all right,
Okay.
that's what I thought.
They're aware of the logging operation too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Alex McMartin is an abutter, and he's the head of the planning board in Wilton. So, and he's on the Concom, I think, with Jennifer Beck. So,
And then I do wonder, I don't have any particular experience with that type of a temporary bridge on the Class A stream. But I just wonder if that would be something that DES would automatically like to look at and give their approval.
yeah,
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 That there's-
I was thinking, because wouldn't you have to do an alteration of terrain to put that in?
you would have to get a permit to meet DES, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
or something, yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't know the exact rules, if they're not disturbing it, like,
Well, how can you not unless you're literally like,
Well, yeah, because I mean, that Class A stream thing is
that
a
was-
little funky, right? It's, if you discharge contaminants into a Class A stream, that's a law violation. So, and then I've read stuff that people says, well, once you start disturbing the dirt and the silt runs down into the stream, you're discharging contamination into it. So, and I guess there was some legal precedent that that's a violation of the Class A stream ordinances or whatever. But I think, experts at the DES would probably be better to explain all
So-
that to us.
Yeah.
there's two topics. One is contacting the DES about the soil disturbance in an orchard. The other topic is the bridge
Well,
over the
they-
Class A. Well, both, but I don't think,
Yeah.
so the land that was logged, that's in between East Road and Route 45, that's south of the town, but north of the reservoir. It was logged about 10 years ago, maybe a little more. You can still see the entrances. I went in and looked at it while it was happening. I don't think we were asked to, but I just was curious. And it wasn't easy to get around. You know what that's like. I saw that they had crossing, I don't know what it is, Bloodbrook or whatever, Temple Brook. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
It did not disturb either side or the water. But they crossed at a point where it went down deeply. So they literally went straight across. They had a rigid enough of a system that they didn't disturb the water at all. I was like, wow, this is good.
Or the ground around.
Or the ground around it, yeah. Like
Okay.
nothing was getting into the water because they were so far away from it because of the terrain. So they can do it right and not disturb the water just because, but it all depends on the terrain, and if you don't have the right terrain, if the water's at the same level as where the soil is, then I don't know how you do it. There may be expensive ways to do it. I don't know. I think that's a different thing. Whatever water crossings are going to have to do the right way too. I mean, they're going to have to keep the ES happy on that.
Right. I mean, the phone number I found is under DES waste contaminated sites / state sites.
Yeah, just call them and ask them.
And yeah, my thinking is, I mean, what it says is in the event of contamination, so they're saying like a live, like this, the responsible
that was
party
just-
is required to notify
Right.
DES Waste Management within 60 days of discovery of a violation. So,
That's really not this scenario
right, but I mean, they should be able,
to give you the right.
yes, because they're still dealing with contaminated soil, and it talks about the site investigation and a remedial action
Yeah.
plan. So I think this is the right number, and at least.
Well, it's a number where somebody's going to answer
Right.
and expect the public.
Direct.
But it's probably not the right number, but it's the number that somebody will answer, and they could give you the number of
Right.
who to call.
Right. And
Can
I
you
mean,
do that, or?
yeah, and I can certainly explain that there's both, the issue of the general contamination, and also mention that there's going to be a crossing over that stream that is headed into Wilton's drinking water. So
Yes,
it's
Yeah.
just a very,
tributary to the Suhegan and Merrimack. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
so,
if you could do that, that would be great.
Would it be a good idea to let Wilton Concom know that we're contacting DES about this? Because they might want to join in or support us.
certainly can, I can. I can certainly. So probably Jennifer, right? Because Jennifer's the head, and then I'll.
Jennifer Beck,
Yeah.
is she the head? Is she the chair, Mike? Do you know?
Yeah, she's the chair.
Okay,
I think she was the one that signed that letter that went.
She
Right.
is, yeah.
Okay.
That was her personal letter, even though she used her Concom letterhead.
Okay.
But anyways, just a detail.
and
Well, she used the letterhead, it wasn't.
I don't think it's unfair to say they're looking to do both a logging operation and also development. I mean, both are been
Yeah.
by as a topic.
I would present the whole
Yeah, give
base
them
of knowledge
give
that we
them
have today.
all the facts, because they are facts.
Right.
Okay,
And then just a reminder that the Berry land does border the town forest on two sides, so that would be
Yeah.
the town forest. If there's a big logging operation, they're gonna be, well, this area is, not so much the town property, but the view from
it's
that.
it's
town
going to
forest.
affect those edges, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And then,
things that were not open to fields are now open to fields.
like, you had asked me my thoughts about the Berry property, I sent you the picture of the moose.
Mhm.
That was right on the edge of
Yeah.
the town forest and the Berry property, where the rest of the black gum, red maple swamp goes into the property there.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
To say that log would prevent the moose from ever coming back, it would disturb them from retiring. But
Yeah.
I also think it's gonna be heavily, that's a lot more wind.
it's going to affect at least the edges. Of the campus. Those edges, yeah. So I am not that familiar with the John Barry land. Is there, with the timber operations, like there's 4 tracks, right there, 4 plots? Would it be on all of them or only certain ones? Like I'm wondering if there's going to be multiple landing areas.
Yeah, there would have to be, because there's roads that separate
Right.
properties and
North Road and that intersection there, right? The old Class 6 road or whatever it is,
the old Putnam Road.
Putnam Road, right?
And they may figure, when they're talking about crossing a stream, maybe they plan to do something closer to that side, the Putnam Pass where the farmhouse is.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know for sure. But
right.
then when we discussed on the other side, North Road that goes to Converse Road,
Mm-hmm,
I imagine they'd want to go right through the orchard to access that.
right,
Because I know the old Class 6 road that goes up the hill,
yeah, oh, yeah, right.
along with the orchard being on the left,
Mhm.
forest on the right. That's not the bit, it's pretty steep,
Mm-hmm,
and I imagine that,
going
when-
towards the Connolly's.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll consider that, I'm not sure. As we were talking about all this, one of the abutters, Jamie Jones, had
Yeah.
had his property logged last year. And the company that did it used a forwarder machine to bring the wood from his property down that Class 6 road, staging the logs onto the Berry Orchard lands.
Oh, really?
Just in piles. It wasn't like they did a whole bunch of digging and different things.
Yeah.
And I knew that was happening. We were approached by Jamie,
Mm-hmm,
whether my dad and I would do his project, and it didn't make logical sense for us. We don't have a forwarder.
mm-hmm,
So I knew that had happened. At the time, I didn't think much of it in terms of soils and contamination.
right,
I've looked at that, and I mean, there's a little bit of stuff moved around, but it's not like they really did a whole lot of work there.
mm-hmm,
It was more or less, that was a place to pile the logs, have a truck pull into that, where that Class 6 road is, pick up the logs and then head out.
mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
In terms of those forested lands, I've walked through them. They're pretty plentiful with timber.
Mm-hmm,
So they're gonna definitely get, well, some money out of that.
Some money,
It would be, it's worth doing. I hate that it's gonna be cut heavily. I don't like that personally.
right. Is the operation that Jamie Jones did, was it more selective, or was it?
Well, I haven't been up to his property since then, but at least what he had talked about to us was an acre clearing to do solar panels.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what else they might have done in addition
Right.
to that, but it wasn't a very large
It
project.
wasn't, okay,
I know he used a forester for that as well.
yeah. Okay. Anything more on the Barry land?
I do wonder, since this is,
Yeah.
the development side of things, getting away from the logging operation. That's been brought to the board and it's discussed.
Mm-hmm,
How are we gonna, how's the contact planning board to help and, kind of work on this together? So I'm also wondering, is the planning board also gonna contact DES with their thoughts and concerns?
The planning board, the last thing they said was they gave Dan, the fellow from Fieldstone, a list of things that he needed to do to the plan
Right.
before he brought it back to the planning board. And the first priority was to figure out the soil contamination issues.
Yeah.
And I remember Christine specifically saying, we're going to be looking for a detailed soil test from you.
Yeah.
So.
But then now I wonder, the new owners are gonna try to do this logging. And
Right,
I don't realize that, that could also have negative consequences.
does logging operations, does the planning board see that?
I haven't
Right.
Seen anything come.
Probably not, right? It goes to the intent to cut goes to the select board.
Yeah, I don't
So
really be involved.
And Bill
planning board wouldn't really be in the middle of it.
gave the impression select board, it's pretty much a rubber stamp.
It seems.
Yeah, that's the way the statute's written.
So, I still think the logging operation wouldn't disturb as much land as the development, but it's still something I think we should. I
Yeah, I agree.
think depending upon what we hear back from the DES, if they wish to engage or wish not to engage, we should let the planning board know. That this is going to happen. I'm not sure what they can do, but it would be good to let them know what's going on.
I think we should. Yeah, I mean, I would think we should let the planning board and the select board know that we're going to reach out to DES to get get some clarity on how to manage that,
What the risk,
the activities on the berry orchard.
right, what we want to know the DES's opinion on the scenario, given the what we described.
I think we should.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and
then-
there's two potential work streams there right now, right? The quote, development of the land and then logging of the land. So
I think we should DES first though, and then, what we hear from them,
Yes,
we can contact the select board or the planning board. It might be that what we hear from DES means that there's no point in contacting anybody because there's nothing that can be done, blah, blah, blah. So
well,
on the other hand, if we get some information from DES, then we can go to the select board and the planning board and say, this is what we found out, this is what might need to be done, so on and so forth. But if we contact them now, then they may,
Right.
interfere with the process in a way.
Well,
Well, plus they aren't having meetings until, I mean, like, I would prefer to contact them tomorrow, DES tomorrow.
yeah,
right.
I
I don't
I don't
see,
think there's any downside to contacting them and letting your colleagues in municipal government know that what you're going to do. And then when you find something worth discussing, you discuss it with them, give them more detail. But I don't know. If I were a planning board guy, I would like to know what other people are doing. That's just me, but.
Now, I could tell them either way. I could call DES first and then just confirm with them and the Wilton folks as well to say, hey, the Temple Concom decided to reach out to DES about this. And
Yeah,
here's what DES said, and it'll either be
yes,
a no-go.
I would rather bring informed information.
Yeah.
And bring informed information when we start to share it, rather than,
Okay.
because like just saying, well, we might do something and we don't know, it may be a dud. That, I don't see any advantage to that. I think we should have some information in hand, and the DES has the power to stop all kinds of things.
They do.
So we don't,
Or even if it's not, I don't really think it's necessarily a matter of stopping it, but there may be things that can be done to mitigate problems.
right,
that-
mitigate the risk.
slow it down and or ask the people to do things to improve the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do loggers ever do soil tests? Like we're asking a developer to do?
I mean, maybe I think
Yeah,
I mean, most loggers should have enough idea of what's what, but when it comes to this, I consider this pretty high level soil testing, the different
yeah,
contaminants and, I took this class in college and
yeah. Okay.
Well,
Let's-
even the surveyor at the planning board meetings, like, yeah, I had no idea about this.
yeah,
If-
I kind of wonder how much of that was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it was BS, but they know.
Share with us whatever you get back. And if there's actionable items in there, we need to meet to make decisions about that, and we can do it,
Okay.
Okay. Any more on the John Barry land? I think that's a good plan. Yeah.
Who's going to talk to the Wilton people?
Well, I'll include them on my email after I talk to DES. I'll just put them in addition to the planning board and select board. I'll do the Wilton Concom and since
Okay.
I don't think I'll do the Wilton select.
Not
I think
necessarily,
they're involved.
I don't think-
at this point, so.
unless the Wilton Concom or planning board suggested.
Okay.
Let them.
Well, they can forward it. I'll forward it.
Yeah, they can forward it if they want. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. I just figured the Wilton Concom and Planning Board were both here, or even though they were abutters, still
Yes.
representatives. So
Yes.
yeah, I just want to keep them. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so we said we were gonna next talk about Skladaney land.
Is it a long A or a short A? Did you pronounce it?
Oh, I don't know what's the right way to pronounce
Okay.
it.
Back in the day, when we considered, well, not considered, when we bought it, the town, everybody said Skladaney.
Oh, okay. Was anyone alive from the family at that point? I don't know.
There were no Skladaneys
Okay.
that I know of that got up and spoke. They were absent. They were probably like John Barry. They were not local owners of the land.
Sean, do you remember when that happened? Was it about 20 years ago or so? Or a little bit
It
more recent?
it
I
it was less than
remember.
my impression was it was less than 20, but it was close to 20.
We had the date.
So I think when I looked it up, it was almost a year or so after I moved here, and we've been here about 20 years. So it's around 20, yeah. It was a while ago. Doesn't seem that it was so dramatic
The
though.
town purchased it in 2003,
2003, right.
almost 500 though.
So that's what 23, 22, 23 years roughly. Yeah.
So what's the question on the table about Skladaney?
Is there any news? Anything?
I can give you a pretty decent update.
Okay.
So, talking to Ken, there's a warrant article to log the Skladaney property. This is what we're talking about, I assume, right? And stick the money in the general fund.
I haven't read the article. Is that
Okay,
what it is?
Yeah, it's only a couple lines, but it is a warrant article created by the facilities committee to log that property, put the money into a fund to be used for future improvements of facilities.
Okay, that's
But
what,
the select board modified that to log the Skladaney property and dump the money into the general fund. Talking to Ken, the intent is we don't know how much money that's gonna bring in. Dump it in the general fund but we'll know how much money it is, and next year create a fund to stick it in. I don't know how well that's gonna fly with the facilities committee at town meeting in 3 days, but that's where that's at. Ken also said, and I had a long talk with Alan Oxman,
Mhm.
and he feels that to keep a forest healthy, you should log it every 20 years. And what I said there is, and I had both hats on, the Conservation Commission and the Facilities Committee. And I said, excuse me, we want to log it and responsibly to turn it into a healthy forest, get money out of it and get trails. And he said, yeah, you gotta have somebody working with a forester to lay out the trails. So it has to be mutually beneficial. They can get the logs out. But you wind up with trails that make loops and not a bunch of dead ends.
Right.
Talking with Ken, his plan is, assuming this passes, that he wants to log it, but have Concom basically lay out the trails and all of that. He wants Concom to, if you will, manage the project. And, my response to that was, well, shit, you should have kind of talked to Concom, shouldn't you? Communication is not the greatest in a lot of areas in this town, but anyway, that's his thoughts.
Okay,
And I assume he's speaking for the whole select board.
okay.
So are we willing to manage that project is one question.
Well, let's not discuss that now. I mean, we need an expert to tell us.
Well, it's not in the warrant article that said that we would do it though, right?
No, it would have to
No,
be
but,
another.
I think the warrant article that bought the land says the
Select board,
select board is the managers of it.
right?
They can log it anytime they want.
No, yeah, correct.
The only reason they're going through a warrant article is credibility, if you will.
Yeah,
But there's no fundamental need where they have to ask that permission.
Right.
They can do anything. They can do anything they want.
yeah, no, they could have logged it at any point. Okay,
I mean, if that was legitimately going to be what happens, I mean, we should have known about it well ahead of time so that we had money in the budget that we could hire someone like Eric to help us
Yeah, but
figure out a management plan.
Now,
We can't do
I
it.
have a data point of one. Horseshoe fishing game logged their property.
But the thing is, I mean, the expertise in figuring out where the trails should be on this
Okay,
property.
but hang on a second.
Okay.
They logged it and there was zero money up front. All of that was done. And then the logger took all the logs, chipped all the stuff, took the pulp, everything like that. And then when it was all said and done, said, here's a check. We logged it, sold it, took our share, here's the leftover.
Right.
Is that how things work generally, or was that a fluke?
I wouldn't say it's, the standard, but yeah, I've heard of that happening. But are you saying there was no, the people didn't know what they were going to make? So then at the end of the operation, they were just handed a check?
Oh, yeah, no, that's exactly correct. Our guidance was turn it into a healthy forest.
Right.
And it was a forester involved
Yeah.
from the state. And he went and said that one, get rid of this one. And the goal was a healthy forest. The money was incidental. One of you had a big hunk of change, it was like 140 grand. It was some serious money, but that wasn't the point. The point was to turn it into a healthy forest. And they went in and I think they clear cut 2 acres into a meadow for the deer and stuff like that. And how much of that we want to do, I mean, the guys from the club that supervised it had no particular expertise. Either they just followed the lead of the logger in the forest.
I mean, the larger my land, well, before I bought it, just made a mess of it, and there are no loop trails, it's all dead ends, so I think the idea that Ken had of making, having forethought to figure out where you wanted the trails to be. Obviously, they need to go around the land enough so that the logger can use them practically.
The way Alan described it, he is, like a flower.
Yeah,
He didn't use that word, but that was the image I had in my mind, like a
Yep.
main loop. And then instead of going like this, you go out like this to get.
yeah,
yeah,
And you wind up with trails for horses and everything else. And, a skidder is like the perfect width for a horse, It leaves you nice trails.
yeah.
It looks like crap.
I know.
My past experience, it looks like crap for about 2 years, but then it looks really nice.
I'm just saying, like, we don't have any money in the budget to give,
have that planning.
hire that kind of forethought.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating. That's his idea, but,
Well,
they
they can pass this and
can.
nothing will happen until we have the money to do it.
Right,
And it's not a problem.
yeah, right. It doesn't have to be, the warrant article doesn't say anything about this year, right? It could be next year.
It's like 2 sentences.
Okay, so
Log
it
the property.
could happen.
I got
says
the
nothing.
feeling from Ken, his thought was log it this year, get the money. And then next March, since you know how much money it is, move that amount into a facility.
But we could delay all of that for next year.
Absolutely,
It
you absolutely
wouldn't
could.
matter. Okay,
Uh,
perfect.
Yeah, and I guess where I'm uncertain is to hire somebody to lay out trails as opposed to walking it and going, because I think when you get out there, you clearly know better than I do, when you get out there, if you have an idea of what you want to do, rocks and contours and stuff like that kind of dictate exactly where you wind up.
Well, especially this property has got a lot of rocks, a lot of
That's-
ledge, some
that's
wet
what-
areas.
Yeah, and Alan made that comment, he said, I don't know what you're gonna get for wood. because there's not a whole lot of soil there. But there's clearly some big ass trees over there.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
So,
one of the main reasons that I came here tonight is, my dad and I have been asked by Steve Anderson, who's going to present this article at the meeting, you know, give a little spiel about it.
This article, meaning the logging article.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I don't remember what number it is. But
That's
it's
fine.
it's the last one,
Same one.
whichever one it is.
So he's asked my dad and I to, you know, talk about logging and our process of logging at the town meeting.
Mhm.
That doesn't say that we're gonna do the work. And I talked to my dad a lot about this, whether or not we wanna do this, because it's a pretty large project acreage wise. And we do have some other people who are kind of waiting for us to go to their property too,
Mhm.
that I don't want to forget about them because they've been waiting over a year. So is that, I've walked the property on my own to just kind of see what's there. It has been logged before, maybe 40, 45 years ago. And there's still evidence of old trails, which hopefully can be reused again, so you're not starting over from scratch. And where you want to put trails will dictate, you know, what you have to work with. There's a lot of ledge, a lot of rock. There is good quality timber out there, but there is also some timber that's small sized trees that wouldn't be worth much now,
Mhm.
but given more time to grow, could be worth that money in the future.
And
Sure.
more sunlight.
Yeah.
You get rid of the big ones, the little ones grow up.
Right, which is, you know, Dad and I were actually out there today because he hadn't walked the whole property, so we walked a little bit of it so he could get an idea of what's there. He thought that when that was cut, say 40 years ago, that the trees probably grew maybe 8 inches in diameter since then, you know, all the trees.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Is that
mainly-
good? Or
Um,
average?
I guess it's probably average, I don't know if it's spectacular, but
Right.
given,
Okay.
given that it's not the most awesome site in terms of what we got for, you know, ledge,
Mhm.
probably, you know, whatever they did, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
So something I'm gonna discuss with this that I don't want mentioned in the minutes because it was a private conversation with Tim Fisk, but it relates back to what we were talking.
It's on this being recorded.
Well, it's fine. It relates back to what we talked about with the Berry property and the bridge.
Mhm.
So towards the municipal building, across the road was the
Whole property.
whole property where the house was.
Yep.
That would make a great logging landing. It's already pretty much, you know, enough room there. Driveway access is good. But just beyond that is a pretty sizable
That
creek
yeah.
stream
stream, yeah.
that would need a bridge to cross it.
Mhm.
And so upon talking with Tim Fisk today, because one, I asked him, what's the status of the highway garage? Is there still talk about putting that out there?
That's pretty much dead.
That's
Yeah, so that's what he said. And I thought that was the case, but I wasn't sure if anyone was still holding on for an idea there.
I'm sure there is, but it ain't going.
wait until we log it, then they'll change their mind.
So, but he said, you know, whatever kind of bridge that you guys would, or whoever would put there would require DES approval based on, you know,
Sure.
Mhm.
what we've seen is you'd want to have some areas filled in on the edges to build it up. And
Mhm.
you have your, you know, bridge
Yep.
decking platform. You might be able to get away with doing something, you know, for like a trail purpose, you know, made out of wood. That probably no one's gonna really worry about that, but for equipment
rock.
access, you'd want something
A real-
stable.
Yep.
And I talked to Tim about a few ideas that we came up with, and he said, oh, every one of those will require DES sign off. He says, you might be able to get away with it. And I was like, no, because I already knew that Concom would be involved.
Yeah.
Oxman would probably want to be involved. And it's pretty, you know, line of sight from the town. People who know once this starts to go on, they're gonna be curious. So there's no way to do any kind of quick fixes around that.
Tim's Bridge is it steel I-beams?
For
For Tim's when you park like next to his little barn across the road.
Yeah.
And then you go up into the trails.
Those,
It's like this wide, it's metal and it's two
it's a
strips.
huge I-beam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two.
okay, they are.
They are just two huge I-beams and one's starting to rust.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's, there's an idea of doing something like that, or Dad and I had thought about, like a large size diameter cement culvert pipe, and then having fill on top of that.
Mhm.
But either one of them would require some sort of an approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a problem with that? From your perspective?
No, I mean, just getting all that approval
It's
and the cost to get all these things, all the ducks in a row.
yeah, okay.
No, not so much as a problem on whoever's doing this but the cost to get it done, the approval, the planning.
Yeah,
Well, and my concern with that, I guess I have two questions. Does it make sense to build a bridge? Because if that's your landing area and you're gonna wind up, trucks come in, take all the wood out. Does that turn into a parking area? And
Bruce,
then the bridge becomes permanent, so you have nice access to the trails. Is that a practical thing, or is it when we're done, you pull the
I
bridge up?
think the bridge that they would need is gonna be
way more.
way more and overkill for just a pedestrian bridge.
It'll be overkill, but who cares? So you're not gonna fall through. If
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be removed, who cares if it's?
Well, maybe.
I think a permanent bridge is different than what I saw in the logging operation. I think what I saw was clearly something that was removable. But, I mean, this is all good points. You mentioned with your father, you have work in front of you that you're scheduled and you probably want to do because whatever reason. Ignoring scheduling, is it something though that you're at some point is that work that your father and yourself would do? Is it, or is it like, no, we don't want to touch it? Ever?
Well, from our standpoint, it's a large property with the way we do our work, but that's not to say it's impossible for us to do. We would just, on our end, we would try to get some help. I know my dad said he would be proud if we could do that, being it's a town property, right, in the town center.
I have more confidence in you than others.
Yeah.
And I think, we're all nodding our head. I'd be more comfortable knowing, having somebody resident and yourself, you're obviously understand the value of forestry, keeping forests and value it as it is and understand trails, it would be, in my personal opinion, it would be worthwhile to delay it until we have the money for the study, and maybe you guys could put us on the schedule and at some point in the future. But I wanted to know if it's the kind of thing, because I'm in no rush to do it.
So even before a warrant article for this came about, Dad and I had been approached about, hey, there's potential talk that the town will want to do logging there and create this fund for the money to go into. So, okay, that sounds good. And we had mentioned, hey, if we were to do it, we can't afford to what's called a lump sum, where you would pay the cost of the wood to the owner upfront. So saying that, we know that there's a need for money for whatever. The way we do our work is we just can't afford to write a big check and say, all right, now you're getting paid, well, we'll do the work and we'll be done.
Running.
Yeah, that's not the way that worked. We didn't get anything until like 3 or 4 months after it was lost.
Oh, that long?
Something like that, yeah, it was log it.
Yeah.
Right, and then, for several months, logs piled up and it was shipped. I mean, it was a 100-acre project.
Right.
If
And
we,
then they disappeared. you know, and the mud started to dry out and a check showed up. So there was no money up front.
If we have any say in what happens, and it sounds like Ken had the idea we would, then we can determine how that's done.
So normally what we do is we pay the landowner once we get paid for sending the logs to the mill.
That's
So,
what happened with us.
you know, that might mean several checks, but to us, that's fair. You know, we're getting paid, we got the value of your logs, we're paying you for that value.
Yeah,
You know, when we go into working with someone, we write up the contract, we say, hey, we estimate this much timber for the intent to cut, we have to write that down, we tell them, hey, we think there's this much timber. This is what we're gonna pay for 1,000 board feet of timber, boom, boom, boom for prices. People agree, yep, okay, sign the intent to cut, that goes to the select board. They may have questions on it, figure out the questions, get it approved,
Mhm.
then we start.
yeah, okay,
And
I
from
mean-
the, you know, unless Steve told you something different than he told us, but the intent was, build up money to be used 4 or 5 years from now. So there's no,
No
because
need
we don't
for
know what
money.
we're gonna do with it upfront anyway.
Okay, I hadn't heard a 4 to 5 year mark.
That was my guess, because the facilities, it's to fix the facilities of the building.
Right.
And that, I think, I forget what that warrant article was, it was a 6 or 7 year project.
Yeah.
And it's, the only thing that's happened in the last year is all the interviews with people to determine needs. Now we gotta start coming up with solutions, then when people buy into the solutions, gotta start coming up with prices and plans and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah, no building's gonna be done for multiple years.
okay, so I guess there's not a big urgency of getting somebody to check this out or hiring someone to lay out trails.
No, the only reason it's on the warrant articles this year, you only get to bite at it once a year.
Right.
So if it's not this March, you can't do anything until next March.
Yeah.
That's why we pushed to get something on here, even though it's kind of undefined.
Mhm.
But no, there's no sense of urgency at all.
So to go back to the property itself, we just talked about that old property with, you know, that's a good landing location. If it was us, we would also propose another landing location off of General Miller Highway. And, when I did my reconnaissance of the property, I saw a little clearing area that could have been a former landing the last time somebody was there. So that was nice that something already existed.
Mhm.
Again, that had a few little smaller, you know, size streams that would require a crossing, but it wouldn't be like a whole bridge.
yeah,
It would be
Okay.
more like you fill it in with a bunch of brush, a
mhm,
bunch of crushed stone.
okay.
And, sorry, I guess another thing that still has me puzzled is, okay, so whether it's us or someone that's logging there, I still am kind of concerned that the town may still want to sell some of this land at some point.
There is a few discussions. I know Marty Conley came up with actually a really kind of cool scheme several years ago that had, I don't know, a handful, 6 or 8. I think he was visioning,
Wasn't it
old age
20?
housing. Was it that many?
Yeah,
It was a
it
small
was
array of
from
houses
2010.
and like an art center and stuff like, it was actually a really pretty cool layout. But logging, responsibly logging for trails doesn't preclude it. Right? You want to do that in the future.
Right,
You're
yeah,
knock
yeah,
down a bunch more. Now you're gonna clear cut that area.
I just hope that people are really concerned with, hey, we only have one property like that close to town. Let's not pigeonhole it into one thing or totally protect it. Because I'm sure at some point someone's gonna be like, oh, I wish we did this, wish we did that.
Well, there was some discussion about warrant article to conserve it. And that was like,
So,
no,
too much.
well, it does lock it up.
Yeah,
And logging, you know, this is all we do.
right.
You log it, you get trails, you get, people can go horseback riding and whatnot in there.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to do something in it, it's not locked up.
Right.
So it's a safe first step with the logic.
I mean, I see that property being a very awesome recreation place.
Yeah, it would be great if the trails stayed trails forever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure from the state to throw houses everywhere.
Yeah. But I
be,
do think that some of the land itself isn't gonna be too suitable for houses, even with, I know there's different, dynamite to blow up stones and make things
right.
better, but I don't think that's the area we wanna be doing that in.
Well, and we just passed the overlay district for the land up next to the school with the idea that it could be potentially
Right.
housing.
And we moved out of Merrimack into Temple because we don't want a gazillion houses.
Right.
So you're gonna be hard pressed to get me to support building houses there.
So I just thought the warrant article probably says Skladaney period, right?
Skladaney log the Skladaney property.
Doesn't,
Now, you can modify it, you think, and add the whole property to it?
Well, then
if,
already has
if, for what,
approval.
if it doesn't say whole, then we probably can't
Yes,
do
you
that.
can. You have to, you could amend the warrant article.
Well,
to say
that's-
Skladaney and whole.
We get a vote.
It would have to be amended in the town meeting, which is fine. I think if to give someone like Eric and his father the flexibility of their vision of how it would be done, that might be something we consider.
But isn't that?
But keep in mind, the select board is the administrator of the property.
They
They
can-
can do that.
They
anyway.
could probably do it anyway, so for whatever the purpose of this warrant article, it's like, well, they don't have to be constrained by it, but if they're going to do the warrant article, we might as well make it
Yeah.
accurate, so. Okay,
Well, and then also that whole property had already had some logging done already, more recently at some point.
But it's
Really, the whole property?
5 acres or
Oh,
so.
it's not even 3.
Okay.
it was logged at one point, okay,
Yeah, maybe 10 or so years ago.
okay. Interesting.
More recently than the other portion.
Mhm.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of nice timber left there. What was left, the trees weren't that valuable.
Mhm.
They were big, but
I
kind
love that
of,
wheel that's stuck in the
Oh,
tree.
have you seen that?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool.
that's pretty,
You gotta save that one.
yeah, I'll put it on that, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what how the town reacts to the warrant article and if people are amending it or if there's perceived urgency for the funding or not, if we will really be given the control and if we can control it, then we'll do it our way.
So the control part is a select board thing. Which it's not part of the warrant article, it's just Ken's vision. So let me ask, what do you guys want?
If they're going to do it, I'd rather us get involved so that we can make it what we want,
So
right?
you definitely have 2 votes on the select board, it's not an issue.
Yeah. It could become part of the warrant article. If we're going to change it for Holt, we could change it to say that Concom would oversee it. And if Ken is already
He's the one that told me that's what
yeah,
we plan to do, I think is the phrase. he
yeah,
used.
okay,
So I don't know who we is, but I would assume it includes him anyway.
yeah,
And, I'm all for it.
okay.
So you got your 2 votes.
With that said, is anybody, I mean,
I would try to keep the warrant article as simple as possible, I think, rather than,
getting it more
They just
specific?
leave it-
Yeah.
Just leave it the way it is.
because it just gives more little touch points for people if they're against
Yeah.
serving, to be like, no, we don't want the Concom, because what if they try to
Oh,
serve it?
that's
'Cause you know
a
how many
very
people-
good, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
people are very up in arms.
If
when
we
they
think we
heard-
have the select board would support that anyway. Yeah, okay, I agree. We won't bring it up.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fine.
Ken's position is the Concom is the only people qualified to decide what to do with it. I'm not exactly sure.
we're not-
I don't know what that means, but
Qualify.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
But it's.
we want to preserve the uses of the property as opposed to clear cutting it for maximum dollars or something like that.
Yeah,
We'll take care of it. And we want trails.
Well, we know good loggers.
Yeah, but you do need a town assigned project manager of some sort. You know, somebody officially sticking up for the good of the town, if you will.
okay,
And then I think back to my research on just town forests in general, and some towns actually form their own town forest committee of people who not, you know, may not be just conservation commission members, could be other people's too. Not saying we
Manages
need
the
that.
town forest. Who's responsible for that?
we are.
Okay.
Concom.
So then we're the logical choice. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. We're the logical choice for this one then too, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be officially a town forest, but it's,
Now, there's some issue, and I forget what it was, there was some issue with using that name.
yeah.
Yeah,
Using the word forest, I think.
A town forest has a certain attachment, and so
And I think.
you probably can't cut down
No, I
a
think
town
it's-
forest and put buildings on it, so.
No, I think they sent it to legal and there was there's like a legal definition of the word
Exactly.
forest or
Yeah.
something.
Right.
No, there's a legal definition of town forest, and we were going to ask to have it renamed to village forest, and the legal people, my understanding is anyway, the legal people thought that that's too close to town forest and it would be confusing, possibly even legally confusing.
I like the name Skladaney myself, because it's weird.
Well, we could name it something else, but I mean,
Yeah.
they have a point.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
that it's, you know, it wouldn't actually be a town forest legally speaking,
Yes,
but it would sound like it was a town forest.
Right.
So, you know, it just.
okay,
If we called it the Skladaney Recreational Forest, that should probably keep everybody.
yeah,
That's a bit of a mouthful.
okay. Anything more, Eric, on this?
That can go in the
I-
minutes or no?
Oh, just that for timber purposes, the majority of that is white pine.
Okay,
The other species, there's not that much that, in my opinion, would be worth also cutting the other species for timber.
okay,
I mean, unless there was some, you know, desire to, but
mostly the white pine then?
Yep.
Okay,
that's what the property has the most of.
okay. Well, that's good, good to know.
There's one area in the middle that is it's about the size of this room, like perfect square stone wall. I don't know what it would have been, but
Interesting,
cool.
like a pen.
yeah, because there's like a little tiny gap where there could have been maybe like a little wooden fence.
Yeah, it was like a.
Oh, like they have one on,
So
Open
see-
Ave, Open
see-
Ave has one.
See, that kind of thing, you definitely want the trail to go right near it.
And you don't want anybody to disturb it, yeah, with skidders or anything.
Probably a
Yeah.
holding pen like they have on Coleman Road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I imagine it could
That
have
was the town pound.
Yeah, the town pound.
Yeah. Well, that's right near there. Could have been a version of that.
It could have been a version, yeah,
I don't know what else a small particular area like that would have been.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
there could have been a foundation for a barn too.
Well, no, I'm gonna say no because of just this stone walls were pretty skinny.
Okay.
Not built up as in
Right,
like
it's got a pound then.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
okay. Anything more?
Just, you know, I don't know if you can add if you want. I know we talk about invasive species.
Yeah,
That property's got a lot of bittersweet going on. in some
Ah,
areas. You know, the good sized vines going up trees.
I know what bittersweet is, yeah, it's insidious.
And there's, what's that small thorny one, barberry?
Japanese barberry, yeah,
Yeah.
that's also there.
Yeah, that's not as bad as bittersweet.
I don't
It's not nice to be
But-
nice.
Well,
Not
yeah, but I mean,
weird.
as to spreading, I think the bittersweet spreads so easily.
Oh, yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. Once you start opening up the area even more, you're gonna encourage more of that because it's already there.
Yeah,
So we'll have to have like invasive days.
yeah,
What
yeah,
days?
that's a good point. Once we disturb it, it's especially the stuff that is old, the invasive's gonna go right in there, yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone, you know, is finding their they want something to do for the springtime, there's plenty of the bittersweet to pull out of the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that that really kills it,
it slows it,
yeah.
but it doesn't,
Slows it down a little
it
bit.
slows it down, yeah.
If anything, cutting the vines that are going up trees, that's a good start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To help
yeah,
the
that's
trees.
the first thing to do, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I've always wanted to ask, is there any research being done on something? Because I know so many times like NRCS will tell people that the safest way to do it is to like cut the vines and then paint the cut stumps with glyphosate. Is there any research being done on like a killer of invasives that isn't glyphosate, that's like not quite so toxic, or? I don't know, I just wondered if you heard in any of your, conversations around the touring world, if there's anything being done.
Nothing really comes to mind in terms of the cuts, we call it cut stump treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard people talk about like using straight like diesel on that.
I just had a
but
farmer,
that- I
yeah,
don't know how much better that is.
yeah, I know.
Um,
I thought about that.
I don't know if you guys know, but I used to do invasive species herbicide work, spraying and
wow.
different things in
Mhm.
Massachusetts and Vermont, so I have direct experience doing that.
Okay,
And in terms of that experience, it was always the glyphosate-based chemical is what we
Yeah.
used. I mean, we reduced its the strength of it quite a bit for that application, so it
Oh.
wasn't like as strong.
okay,
But yeah, it's still that chemical.
yeah. It just seems like with all the brilliant humans we have creating all kinds of things, like someone could figure out a way.
Give it to AI. I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't know, AI is gonna get to the real world of that.
That was a joke, but yeah,
Yeah, I know.
okay.
Oh, wow,
It's,
why are we?
You waggled the mouse.
oh.
Oh,
sorry.
oh, is Mike gone?
Mike
That's
left.
fine, okay. This has been a long meeting.
It has.
I think we probably are at our limit. Does there-
Yeah, one more thing, Bagley Farms is having a pre-order sales for, remember any of that, I see it's Bagley Farms, not Bagley Farm. Where I get the native plants for the garden
Is
next
that
to the schoolhouse.
New Ipswich or
Where is it?
Mason or?
No, it's not in Mason, it's up north, yeah.
Oh, so
Remember.
it's not a local one,
Is
okay.
it
Yeah.
Bassett.
Bassett Farms?
No, gosh, it just slips my mind. It's the state of New Hampshire, actually, UNH sends their little plants to them and they distribute them. That's where we pick up from, the little plants like last year. I had placed an order for the garden, but the top had blown off. So I kind of just,
The turtle,
Eight.
really?
well, we fixed it. We fixed it.
One that blew off a year ago.
It had blown
No,
up.
it didn't blow up again.
Okay, okay.
But anyways, I just used the plants and you never paid me for them. I just used them in my gardens. Well, there's time now to place orders for the spring to pick up. Do you want me to place an order in this coming week? I mean, they just posted that pre-order sale is going on.
What kind of plants did you get?
All native plants. If you go, I think what the name is.
Is the deadline like expiring before our next meeting?
Well,
Just to give us.
until all the plants are sold.
First come, first served.
First come,
Oh,
first served.
sure.
You place your order ahead of time.
Okay.
But you have like echinacea and all different types of native plants.
So we need to find like sun-loving, drought-resistant,
Right, deer resistant plants.
deer-resistant.
I can place an order. For them.
Can you like send a link,
Yeah.
a link around when you find out
Yeah.
what it is? Cause, I'd be interested in making some suggestions.
Yeah, because I placed an order for actually lady slippers. They were selling lady slippers. And I bought 4 of those, pre-sale. I already placed my order for my own plants. Trillium, I got Trillium as well.
Those both need shade, I think. Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I think I at least.
We're planting them both in our woods.
Yeah, in the woods,
Yeah,
those
so
are
they
wooded
would not-
plants.
they would not.
but why is that? Trying to,
How would we do this? Would we like make a motion to spend a certain amount and then
Here's my
decide
suggestion.
through email?
Here's my suggestion. You guys give Marie suggestions as to what to buy.
well, I have the
Well,
list of
well-
deer resistant already. I'm one who formed the list.
Right, ones we want. You don't want to
Yeah.
buy that whole list, but.
No.
We have, but we can't place an order. We need to have the money voted on. So
Oh, right.
we need to
Well-
like set an amount ahead of time. And Scott,
Yeah, Scott was saying he had some plants he would donate
Right,
to the
but-
garden.
so we just have
We're
to,
not talking huge money. We'll
No.
buy a bunch. And, you know, the ones you want, you can buy from us, the ones you don't want, we'll find someplace on the farm to plant them. Not really, I mean, we're not talking a big bunch of money.
Yeah, I'll just, you know, just a hand, I mean, we can add to it next year too, so I can do $100 or something like that, $150.
Yeah, but it'll, you know, if you guys don't authorize some money, it's not gonna kill us. I'm not gonna worry about that. Well,
oh, I'm just trying to do things.
yeah, but you can do it after the fact when we know what the money is. Right. That's my point. We don't.
Okay.
So we don't know what we want.
Well, so we do
Well,
with
if
some
Marie
other
sends the link
plants.
out, you give her the suggestions.
Right, we don't know what we want now.
Okay,
There's people that have opinions about what we could use like that, right? And we can send that to Marie
okay.
and ballparking $200 or less.
Whatever, we'll worry about that next month.
Okay, good.
Well, we only have so much space, so we don't want.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I think.
I have no idea.
See,
No, I don't really know how much
So-
space we've got.
if you drive into the, you know, where the school
Yeah,
house is.
I
if
have
you-
driven in there actually, but I didn't know what I was looking at.
Okay, so if you drive in, by now the snow should be melted, but if the building, if this is the building and you drive in and like the driveway gets wide over here, there's a green tarp, or is it?
And there's the kiosk right beside it.
I forget, but it's a target.
So the kiosk is right here, and then there's a huge tarp on the ground, and that's where we're planning to, that's where we're gonna aim to kill the.
Yeah, it's Bagley Farms, they just found it.
Bagley Farms?
Yeah. So we need, did you put,
Bagley Pond,
Bagley Pond.
oh, Bagley Pond.
but yeah, Bagley Pond, yeah. Bagley.
Yeah,
Pond.
okay,
Okay.
I'll look it up.
But it has some different, you know, spring native blossoms.
Does it have them like by dry areas and,
Oh, yeah, it probably, I mean, you probably could,
full sun?
most of them are probably on the list that I have.
Yeah, I'll look at it and see.
I've got enough. You know,
I've been really looking forward to
Yeah,
helping out with
I think it's
this
bagleypond.com. It looks like
Okay,
it.
so we agree that people will get to Marie.
Well, I will, but no one else has to. I was just asking because I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so any members can send. to-
Anybody can send to Marie ideas.
No, I
But
know
I
we
think
got
you
a
just
few
put
people.
Bagley
Marie,
Pond.
do you wanna
Yeah.
set a deadline of when you want
I'll
people
find
to
it.
reach out, or like in the next 7 days? Just so that you know when
Yeah,
to.
because I just got an email, when did this come in? This came up seven, so it's been almost. What is my days?
Get like 7 or 8.
So, yeah, but within the week.
Okay,
Because the
truck
the selection gets thinner and
No,
thinner
the truck's
as
like
people
about
place their orders.
6, 6.
Okay, yeah, let's just do just.
all
the
right,
truck.
so by
'Cause that would
next
probably be your-
Wednesday, send Marie the list, and then you
It's
can
a
go ahead
manageable amount to,
and place the
Yeah.
order.
to cut
Okay.
up and
Okay.
split them off.
Anything
I had your
more
email.
we want to talk about?
I'll let my dad know that you were interested, and then I'll be in touch with you, you know?
I moved.
We're not in any hurry, wait a second.
I second that. All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Okay, I am gonna close the meeting.
Wow, what a long.
Okay,
Yeah, that's long, 2 hours.
So, yeah, that would be,
That's easy.
okay.
Yeah.
And it's
Hi.
one of those things where,
Um,
you know, let me
What's
know.
its name?
Okay.
I hope the,